The government announced brilliant news. For the first time in 3 years, NHS prescription charges just in England will be frozen. Air pollution makes your asthma worse. It doesn't make sense that they talk about air pollution in one hand, but people with asthma have to pay to breathe. 3 in 4 people struggle to pay for prescriptions, so they're probably using their inhaler less.
Yes.
Why don't you just give them the bloody prescriptions? In fact, you're going to be costing the NHS more money.
Another decision you could make is saying societies are judged by how well they treat the most vulnerable.
The only people winning are the farmers.
Stories, labels, misconceptions. NHS remains a blessing. Created in 1948. We want it to remain great. A podcast where we share our stories, explore solutions in all their glories. They say it's broken, but it's not done. With your hosts Barrett and Dr. Jeremy Anderson.
Welcome to another episode of Stories, Labels and Misconceptions with me, Val Barrett.
I'm Dr. Jeremy Anderson.
It's a podcast where we like to share our stories, experiences, and explore solutions to the issues we face today within public services. How are you today, Jeremy?
I'm doing great. I'm smoking a brisket right now.
I don't know what brisket is.
Oh, a brisket
I hear
is, yes, a brisket is a cheap cut of meat, a large cut, like a pork belly, but for cows.
I thought it was beef.
It's beef.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the belly. It used to be cheap. And in Southern American barbecue, they would use big pieces of cheap meat because it's tough. So you cook it slow to make it tender and delicious. It's become very popular. So prices have gone up. So when I'm on a recipe, it's a 30-hour cook.
Wow.
So you cook it super low, super slow, and supposed to be delicious. So I started that this morning and I will eat it tomorrow.
Or next week.
That's what I'm up to this weekend.
Okay, well, into this episode.
Okay.
And today we're going to be talking about NHS prescriptions.
Yes.
The government announced brilliant news. For the first time in 3 years, NHS prescription charges just in England will be frozen. So that will keep the cost of a prescription below a tenner. So I automatically thought prescriptions, the same, you have a condition where you're taking, say, 3 medications and it's all on one prescription. I thought, that prescription be under a tenner. No, each item is under a tenner. So that would be, I think it's £9.90 per medication. So God help you if you take, like me, I'm on 9 different forms of medication. So that is a lot of money. But the government says the decision means 18 million saving, which will help with cost of living for millions who regularly pay for prescription as the government delivers security for working people through its plan for change. Have you noticed how it says for working people?
Yes.
All people working. Everybody is suffering.
Yes. If you live in Scotland or Wales, everyone gets free prescription.
I don't know.
But it's only in England where not everybody gets a free prescription.
No.
And so the difference means it's a political choice, right? You can do it if you want to do it.
Yeah.
In England, they choose not to do it. There's a number of criteria that give you access to free medication. If you don't have access to free medications on the NHS, there are support schemes and exemptions. It's fairly complicated in England. So I was looking up, this is nhsbsa.nhs.uk is where I'm getting this from. And I was looking at just the So there's multiple criteria for getting free NHS prescriptions.
Yeah.
One of those is age, so under 16s or
Full-time
16 to 18 if
education.
you're in education or if you're
Yeah.
over 60. Certain benefits, pregnant women or people on low income, there's what they call an HC2 certificate that people can use to get low cost prescriptions.
Yeah.
People with certain medical conditions can get an exemption from paying for prescriptions, but it's only some conditions.
I know diabetes,
Yeah, I was looking at the list,
one,
various kinds of diabetes,
C,
epilepsy, and
cancer,
cancer, obviously.
obviously.
I
Because
think,
that is so
yeah,
strange. I mentioned 2 others, and when I
yeah,
got to cancer, not dissing any illness, please, but when I said cancer, you said,
yeah,
obviously.
absolutely. I was thinking some of them I've never even heard of. They're very rare.
Yes.
I don't know anyone who has myasthenia
I
gravis.
couldn't even pronounce it. I don't know what it
I'm not
is.
sure if I've pronounced it correctly. I've
You
never heard
probably
of it
have.
before. Or myxoedema, which is hypothyroidism that needs thyroid hormone.
Well, I don't have that.
These things, and when you look them up, they're described as being very rare. Cancer, not so
Okay,
rare.
not
That's what
so
I was
rare.
thinking of.
And
Is
diabetes isn't rare. So,
no, certainly type 2 diabetes isn't rare, but the type of diabetes that they're describing, this diabetes
is it
insipidus, is a kind of hypopituitarism. Um,
type 1 or type 2?
it's
It doesn't,
neither.
it's
This
not. Okay.
insipidus is about people who urinate 20 liters a day. I'm not sure why it's called, I don't know the relationship to diabetes, but this diabetes mellitus, that's type 1 diabetes. That's people born with a condition where their body doesn't produce insulin.
Yeah.
What isn't included in this list is type 2 diabetes, which is
Really?
the diabetes people acquire of insulin resistance. They become resistant to the effects of insulin.
What happens if you've got diabetes type 2
Hmm.
and you're not working?
Hmm.
You get free prescriptions if you don't. Say you do work.
Yep.
We know that the cost of living has gone up and you have to sacrifice one thing. You've got kids, you've
Hmm.
got 9 times out of 10, the mother sacrifices her needs to feed her kids. What could be the downside of not taking medication for diabetes type 2 if they can't afford it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for type 2 diabetes, really, you're looking at trying to control people's blood sugar level.
Yeah.
So you don't want it to be too low. You don't want it to be too
Too-
high. And it's one of those illnesses where there aren't a whole lot of symptoms as far as I know. So if people have uncontrolled diabetes, they may not know it. But of course, I think it causes long-term damage.
Yeah.
What happens is people don't live as long. Usually with diabetes, you have blood sugar levels that are too high. And so I'm just looking up just online, just looking at long-term complications. You can have
Mhm.
nerve damage, which is
Yeah.
so neuropathy in the extremities, causing numbness, tingling, pain, loss of sensation. So sometimes people long-term, they find they get limbs amputated if you have a
Yes, I've
loss of
heard of that.
sensation or
I've heard of
pain
that.
in your
Yeah.
limbs,
Yeah.
and you develop ulcers that get too big, then
Mhm.
eventually all they can do is amputate the limbs. It can uncontrolled diabetes will damage the kidneys, leading to
Mhm.
kidney failure. Diabetic retinopathy causes damage to blood vessels in the retina, so that
Mhm.
leads to blindness. And uncontrolled diabetes increases risk of heart disease and stroke,
Yeah.
cardiovascular problems.
Which
Mm,
then puts you on medications.
yeah, it puts you on a whole bunch of other medications. So,
Exactly. And more
mhm,
cost on the NHS. So
yeah, and
sometimes it makes sense for illnesses like this to be exempt from charges. Because when I looked at the list,
mhm,
I was shocked. Asthma.
yeah,
I read on the website, Asthma UK,
mhm,
loved the heading, paying to breathe or something like that. They have to
yeah.
pay to breathe.
So asthma is not included in
No.
the exemptions.
What is the barometer? What is the measurement tool NHS England uses to measure all these conditions to say, okay, this condition is going to have free prescriptions whether you work or not. But these won't. I don't know how they make it.
I don't know.
Because I think if you don't take your asthma pump, now I have a lung condition, I have bronchiectasis, so I have inhalers myself.
Yes.
And I mainly suffer when it's really hot, cold, or windy. I cannot breathe. I am fighting for breath. I cannot
Yes.
walk far. People look at me and think, oh, you look fine. But then I walk and I am literally fighting for breath.
Yes.
London traffic, as we know, it isn't good. We've got the environmental fumes are making it worse for people with lung condition. So it makes it weird that they don't have it, considering the government is also going on about environmental air pollution.
Yes.
Air pollution makes your asthma worse. It doesn't make sense that they talk about air pollution in one hand, but people with asthma have to pay to breathe.
Yes.
More people are being diagnosed with it.
And it seems very random. They pick a specific list of conditions that
Yeah.
get free prescriptions.
Mhm,
But there's a lot more health conditions that do pay for their medications.
mhm,
It's
mhm.
obviously subsidized to a large
Yeah.
extent. We're not paying kind of retail prices like in the US, but they do have to pay. Given that it is free for everybody in places like Scotland and Wales,
Mm,
why this seemingly arbitrary list in England?
yeah.
And
Weird. And 3 in 4 people struggle to pay for prescriptions. So they're probably using their inhaler less,
yes.
which can exacerbate their situation. To a
Hmm.
person who doesn't work in the NHS,
Hmm.
it's saying to me that this illness matters more than that illness.
Hmm.
To somebody who suffers, doesn't matter what it is, that matters to them.
Yes.
But then NHS England said it doesn't matter as much because you are going to pay,
Yeah.
because we don't think it does, when it is a potential killer.
Absolutely. And it reminds me of when the No One's Listening report came out a few years ago, following the death of a young man with sickle cell disease, there were a number of hearings and a report was created called No One's Listening.
Yeah.
This was presented at an all-party parliamentary group hearing where this report was presented to the government. And one of the things that came up in the report, as well as all the other things related to factors that were contributing to this young man's death and people's experience of treatment on the ward, one issue that should have been emphasized more was the lack of free prescriptions for people with sickle cell disease.
Yeah.
And the people who made the report presented very clearly that this is a very onerous process. There are schemes to help pay for prescriptions, but you have to be on certain benefits to get free prescriptions, or you have to be low income. I don't know
is the
what the
threshold? 'Cause when I
particular
was looking, I couldn't
threshold is,
find it.
but whatever the threshold is,
Yeah.
it incentivizes people to not be as productive
Yeah.
because they don't want to lose access to their
Mhm.
prescriptions, or at least these price
Yeah.
reduction schemes. It's a strange thing that kind of incentivizes people to not be as productive, but also having to apply for various kinds of schemes,
Mhm.
filling out forms and continue to fill out forms
Yeah.
is an onerous thing. For people with disabilities, it's actually difficult to do that. And so I'm sure there's a number of people who would be eligible for these schemes, but they can't
Mhm.
jump. They need to access it. A more equitable solution would be to say these conditions should get NHS free prescriptions across the board. You shouldn't have to keep proving that you're eligible
Yeah.
for that perk. And so they presented this to the government, and the government, I was very disappointed with the government of the day and the way they responded by just saying, we've got these assistance schemes. And they just
Mhm.
parroted back pretty much what had just been said to them, that
Yeah.
we offer this, we offer that. And
Mhm.
they
Mhm.
just didn't address what had been put to them.
Yeah.
Nothing ever changed. I was very disappointed by that.
But then even because I've got lung disease, heart disease, and heart disease don't get free prescriptions.
No.
How do they say to themselves, okay, if you've got an angina,
Mm.
you may get it or not?
Yeah.
It'd be good to know the criteria, who sits on the board, who makes decisions,
I don't know.
who does.
No, I don't know who does, who decides what the criteria is.
When NHS England goes,
Mhm.
who
Yes.
then makes that decision?
Mhm.
Who is responsible for the decisions made by NHS England?
Yes.
Is it going to come from the Department of Health?
Yes, the
Do you see
people from
what, do you see what
NHS
I mean?
England to
Yeah.
remain will get rolled into the Department of Health
Uh-huh.
and Social Care. The decision will come from the Department of Health, but it might even be a ministerial decision or an issue for Parliament before they start making major changes because they have to get funding for it.
I just wish they would look at
Mhm.
health in a more holistic way.
Mhm.
Because, okay, they have this budget, that budget, and say, okay, we're not going to spend money on, let's say, for people with asthma to get their prescription for free.
Mhm.
But let's say the person with asthma can't afford to pay because their children need nappies or whatever and,
Mhm.
and formula.
Yes.
So they go without their prescription, makes them worse. They end up in A&E. We know there's a big cost to go to A&E.
Yes.
Then they're hospitalized, let's say.
Yes.
There's a big cost there. Why don't
Yes.
you just give them the bloody prescriptions?
That's a good point because being admitted to hospital is one of the criteria that people can get medication. So if you get prescribed
Yeah.
a medication while you're an inpatient, you don't pay for that.
That's why.
Go to your
But it's
GP.
leave. You
Exactly.
can't stay forever.
Exactly.
So,
There's a significant cost attached to staying in hospital. If you
good grief, yeah.
incentivize people to come to hospital so they can get their prescription for free, you're paying for the prescription anyway,
Yeah.
plus you're paying for the cost of their admission. So if you just say you get the prescription for free as an outpatient,
Yeah.
you pay the same for the prescription, but avoid the inpatient cost because
Yeah.
you're not incentivizing people to come to hospital when they don't need to.
But then wouldn't you say this is part of social care? Because if the government's aim is to keep people out of acute care,
Yeah.
stay at home, stay
Yes.
well in the community, part of that would be to make sure you get your medication.
You don't have to go to hospital to get
Exactly.
it.
They
That would
need,
fit very well.
even if you're on a low wage,
Mhm.
be just on that marker where it's not low enough.
Mhm.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the just about managing
Mhm.
are not just about managing anymore. You're on that line where they say you can't get it free because you
Mhm.
earn 50 pence more. Stupid things like that. You earn a couple of pence more. And it's still hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, this is something else I found out.
Okay.
Let's look at savings because the government is always on about savings, but they don't do what they say.
You're not saving money.
I had a look at the NHS spend
Okay.
on medication. I'm going to quiz you. So we're going to go back to 2022.
During COVID.
I can't
Or
remember.
sort of.
So I'm going to say on prescription for paracetamol, aspirin, and ibuprofen. Is it I say it for
Ibuprofen?
ibuprofen?
Got
I
it.
said it.
Yes.
So yeah, in 2022, the NHS spent X amount on prescriptions for paracetamol, ibuprofen, and aspirin. Was it 10 million, 50 million, or 100 million?
Got it. 10 million?
No,
50 million.
no, we have money. We have
100
taxpayers'
million?
money. Yeah.
100 million
We're spending taxpayers'
on
money.
paracetamol,
100 million
aspirin.
in 2022. Considering in 2018, when Sajid Javid was the
Yeah.
Secretary of State for Health,
Okay.
he told GPs to stop prescribing these things because you can get them in the shops for 39p. And it was costing, in some cases, £4.50 a pack. And you can get it for 37p. So imagine that. So why were GPs still, up to 2022, prescribing these drugs?
When these drugs get prescribed by a GP,
Not supposed to prescribe them.
the cost is
Yes,
higher
of
than
course.
if you
Of
purchased
course
it
it
yourself.
is. There's the
So they've got an arrangement where they pay a certain price, but that's much
that's
inflated.
the price that, what are they called? When they're buying from farmers and they sell to the NHS, that's the price. £4.50 and it's 37p in a high street shop. I think that says a lot. You can get the prescription for free, but it's not really free because taxpayers are paying. You just do it. I think that attitude has to change. I buy my own aspirin and paracetamol. It's not something I would think of asking the GP to prescribe me.
No.
100 million. Can you imagine? You have a condition where the government says you're not going to get free prescription because your condition on our barometer isn't whatever measurement it is.
Right.
Is not that bad for us
Right.
to say, okay, it's going to be free. Can you imagine? Then they have to
Right.
hear that someone
Yeah.
who won't dig in their pocket the 37p.
Some medications are available without a prescription,
Yes, you
but
can
people are
buy
getting a
them
prescription because it'll
because
be
they
paid
can.
for.
Yes,
We spend a huge amount of money on that.
that was just
I
in
mean, if that was
2022.
if stopped, that would pay for a lot of
Pay for a
medications
lot.
that people need a prescription for
Uh,
and are much more expensive.
That's what we talked about a few episodes back, is that the government are always looking for things to cut, not looking for ways to save.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be happening in if this happened in 2022, I couldn't find it beyond, but you can bet your bottom dollar they're still prescribing it.
Yeah.
And it's around that price. That's awful. Considering other illnesses, pensioners losing whatever, 100 million, but that ain't the worst of it. I then found paracetamol in that year was 73.7 million. Aspirin, 25.2 million. You can buy it. I don't know why GPs are dishing it out like sweets.
They're thinking, okay, I can give this. If you have someone on low income or has conditions where they get it for free, then I suppose the GP wants to help. But I didn't realize
Come on.
these medications are at a much higher price than a person would pay
If
for
I
them in
can
the shop.
buy something for 37p to let somebody with asthma not pay £9.90 for their inhaler that they need to help save their lives, I'm paying the 37 pence.
Yeah.
That just makes sense.
Yes.
I don't know if they're still doing it, but the government told the GPs from 2018 that has to stop. And those figures were in 2022. In total, 9.6 billion was spent on prescription drugs in England alone in 2021 and 2022. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Sure.
I was shocked when I found that.
Mm-hmm.
I really was. And then when I read the article, Asthma UK is doing a
Hmm.
campaign.
Hmm. Campaign to have medications
Yeah.
provided for free.
Yeah, because they've
Yeah.
done their research. Other people can't afford it all the time.
Yeah.
Awful. When you don't know what it's like to fight for breath. And it's awful. Really is. Wow. Let's take a
Hmm.
breather.
I was just reminded of this story a few years ago where I can't remember the name of the guy. I'll have to look it up later, but he became a CEO of this pharma company that makes EpiPens, the epinephrine doses that people take if they have allergies. Like if you eat a peanut or you get stung by a bee and you have anaphylactic shock, you take this EpiPen and it saves your life. So people who have severe allergies, they need these things.
Yeah.
And when this guy became CEO, he decided we're selling it at this price. It went from $20 to $750 for an EpiPen. So it
Wow.
wasn't that the product was that expensive to make or the device was improved. He decided this is what people are willing to pay to save their lives. Yes, if you can pay
If
that, you
and
will,
yeah.
but not everybody can,
Uh-huh.
right? Severe allergies, people who have to carry these pens, that's also not on the medical exemption list.
Especially when a child goes to school, they may have a spare one at school,
Hmm.
spare one at home. So you're not just going to have one.
Yeah, and
You're
you have to
not.
replace them every once in a while because they expire,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
it's an ongoing cost to people, and they have to get multiple pens. Yeah, even the decision to use it, right? If you think you might have eaten a peanut, right?
Mm-mm.
You're not sure how bad it's going to be,
I
but it's
I
going to
don't
cost you
eat any nuts.
$750.
Yeah, yeah. I don't eat any nuts, so I'm fine with it. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I found what the well, NHS England, how it decides. So it says
Okay.
here, the NHS in England decides which medical conditions qualify for free prescriptions. These decisions are based on a combination of factors, including the condition's severity, the need for long-term medication, and the impact on an individual's ability to work or engage in other activities. Specifically, the NHS utilizes a system of medical exemption certificates, the MedX.
Eligibility? Who's eligible? Who can get it? Do you want to hear a funny story? So
Oh, God.
when my wife moved to Vancouver from Quebec, and she can speak English, but her mother tongue is French, she was doing her training and preparing for an academic presentation where she was supposed to say the word simultaneously.
Oh, no.
And for a native French speaker to say that word,
Yeah.
not only was she not pronouncing it correctly, but
No.
she couldn't recognize she was saying it wrong. She couldn't
Okay.
hear the difference between the way her supervisor was saying it and the way she was saying it.
Mhm.
So they decided they would just say together.
How did she say it?
She said simultaneously.
Okay. But with an accent.
It
She's
had
got
an
an
accent
accent.
and missed a little e-ously, simultaneously. And she just said simultaneously.
Okay.
Her supervisor was saying it simultaneously. And she was saying simultaneously. And she's like, simultaneously.
When you cannot.
It couldn't comprehend that to the French, it sounds the same. Right?
Okay.
It's interesting.
But whereas I know I'm saying it wrong, the more
Yeah, you
I'm
have no
saying it,
excuse.
I'm just killing it. No excuse. I'm British. I just can't speak that well. So yeah, we've established that fact. So yeah, so that's how the NHS spends your taxpayer money.
Part of the criteria you mentioned was your likelihood of being able to work. So it really is a health economic case. We'll pay for this because it will pay for itself. If we give you this medication and it makes you more likely to continue working, you'll continue paying taxes.
If you're asthmatic and can't afford your medication, you're not going to be able to work. In fact, you're going to be costing the NHS more money. There doesn't seem to be a lot of joined up thinking.
No.
And they don't have the bandwidth to look across the board and think, okay, this is the NHS, this is social care. We want people to stay at home. We don't want bed blockers. And the only way they're not going to get bed blockers is by keeping people, you keep people well and you give them money where they can heat their home adequately.
Yeah.
They don't live in a home that has damp or mold. They have adequate money to buy decent food. And they have their medication.
Yeah.
It makes sense. When I was growing up, when I used to watch PMQs, because I used to love it, I think, oh, it's a wonderful show. And I was always told that these people, the brightest of the bright, they were the best. They are the ones that are born to rule. They know best. If they say A, it's because it's right. And who is somebody like a mere mortal like myself? To quit, most went to top universities in that top
Yes.
grades. Always get the best jobs.
Most prime ministers went to Eden.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Go into government, work themselves up, running their departments. It took me a long time to realize just because you're there doesn't mean you know everything. Nobody knows everything. It doesn't mean you have emotional intelligence, that you have bare common sense.
Mhm.
It just doesn't. You may be intellectually bright,
Yeah.
but there's something missing. Do you know what I mean? There's something,
Yeah.
another component that's actually
Yeah.
missing. You're not that full-rounded person that looks at things like we've discussed. You're
Yeah.
not giving free prescriptions to people with asthma. It's not a luxury to breathe. It's not something you choose. It's something we all do because we want to live. So we need to breathe, clean water, somewhere to live. These are
Yes.
the things that all human beings need.
Yes. Speaking on a higher level there, you've read the criteria that NHS England is using to determine.
That makes
Um,
no sense.
It makes sense if you've made a choice to frame it as we're going to pay for these medications
Mhm.
if there's some utility. That is, if they help people stay in a job, for example.
But asthma
Right?
it fits in that box that say that.
Sure.
Still doesn't make full
Sure.
sense.
And maybe the asthma associations can make that case if they get added to the list because they can show utility. That's fine for them. But it's actually, there's already a decision we've made that
Yeah.
we're going to base it on these criteria.
hmm
Another decision you could make is saying societies are judged by how well they treat the most vulnerable.
Yes.
We're going to provide these things the same way Scotland and Wales do because we're deciding that vulnerable people need these things and we're just going to provide them whether it keeps them in a job or not. We never
Scotland.
talk about that.
Scotland is smaller, isn't it?
Yes, Scotland and Wales are
Yeah.
smaller, but
So
yeah.
they won't have
they
smaller.
won't have the tax base.
Hear that
Pay
noise?
for it. That would be the sound of a snoring dog.
Are you ever apart?
No, never. These are total Velcro dogs. They just want to be with you all the
No, I don't believe that. You cannot be parted from your dog.
Oh.
There's times he wants to run away.
He never wants to run away.
Scotland does it. But we've already found the government 100 million.
Yeah.
We've found 100 million.
It's like we've saved the government $100 million.
Someone else saw it. Savage Javid did. But
Okay.
then if he has given the GPs a directive,
Mhm.
why aren't they following it? That's the part I don't get. The pharmacists should say, no, we're not
Mhm.
dispensing that.
Wow.
The only people winning are the farmers.
Yeah.
Pharmaceuticals, £4.50 a pack. And it probably cost them less than 37p to make.
I'm sure it
Yes.
costs a lot less. These
Yes.
are not expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be useful to get someone to talk. If we could find someone or someone contacted us who has insider knowledge of how pharmaceutical companies and
I thought you had a contact
how
there.
they negotiate with governments and whatnot. I know someone at Pfizer, but I don't think someone like that could come on the podcast and speak publicly about these things. We need someone not controlled by an NDA. I would be shocked if they weren't. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's a private company, so they
Of
don't
course.
want their employees on the air. But it would be interesting to find out, maybe someone who's negotiated deals before, who's represented associations like asthma, cystic fibrosis, or sickle cell, to talk about how these drugs get added and what kinds of cases need to be made.
But I'm sure the negotiation price with the government is out there under the Freedom of Information Act. It's taxpayers' money. I'm surprised about how they choose the conditions.
Yeah.
And that what we just read, what we just said about the barometer, the level.
That
I
sounds
just
great.
think, yeah. So, guys, we have saved. I think our work here is done.
Yeah.
100 million. Yay. We should get nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Mm-hmm.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. I can't stop laughing. Oh, if you or anyone has a condition and you feel that they shouldn't be paying for their prescription, let us know. Send us a voicemail. The number will be in the description.
Excellent.
Have a great day. Leave us a review and follow us wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks for listening. See you, Bye.
Bye.